All right, let's talk about Geno Smith, who I think is having a really good season. I thought 2 years ago he was like a top 10 quarterback, and then last year he maybe took a small step backwards, but this year it feels like he's right back and maybe even better than he was 2 years ago, and I thought he played great against Atlanta. Let's talk about what I thought he did so well. Before we do, though, I will mention that I do have a movie channel. If you like movies, like watching movies, check that out. It is Jackson Kruger Movies. The link is in the description below. But yeah, let's talk some Geno Smith. Starting off with the play you see on your screen. This is a 3rd down and 5 situation, and it's going to be a zone blitz that the Falcons are going to pull off right here. When Smith takes the snap, it's really that route, Tyler Lockett's route, that he wants to throw to, and has actually already thrown the ball in that direction at this point. But you can see this is not very open. I mean, there is a Falcon safety who's rushing in and doing a pretty good job at covering this up. So it's definitely going to be a tough throw in a key spot here on a 3rd down and 5. But as you see, Smith puts that one right on the money. I mean, that's a great play right there. I mean, that can allow you to potentially score a touchdown. Didn't on this one. They still ended up with just a field goal. But to keep the chains going, I mean, this can be the difference in games. And these are the plays you need your quarterback to make, and he was able to make it. Also, a play like this, I think one of the real underrated aspects of Smith is, so you see how it's going to be a heavy blitz for the Falcons. What I really like about Geno is just how well he does when things go wrong. I feel like people will sometimes throw the game manager label on him, and it's just an inaccurate way. It's like you say that if you don't really watch much Geno Smith, because he is so much more than that. Watch as when this play begins, the pressure's going to get to him, and he's going to have to try and navigate it. Does a good job, though, of getting outside the pocket. And keep in mind, this is a 3rd down and 7 at midfield. So, again, a key play right here. But he looks over and he sees Noah Fant on this one, who was actually just blocking. And watch Smith be able to flip it to Fant. I mean, that's just great field vision, really. Great awareness to notice this, and that gives them a conversion on 3rd and 7. This did turn into a touchdown drive, and they would have had to punt had he not made this play. So this is definitive, like him making plays turning into 7 points for the Seattle Seahawks. It's really good stuff. This play, another one, which I'm just going to be honest, I don't know how Atlanta let this happen. There's 10 seconds left in the half. The Seahawks are at their own 31-yard line, and the Seahawks don't have any timeouts either. I said Seahawks are on their own 31-yard line. I mean Atlanta's 31-yard line. So 3rd and 15, like it's over. Like there's no way this should be anything other than a field goal right here. I mean, if you're the Seahawks, well, let's throw it out there, right? Might as well run out the play. Worst case scenario, Smith can just throw it away and we'll take the 3 points. Well, when this play begins, you see that it's actually, I mean, like I said, Atlanta has to play this better. I mean, it's a great route by Metcalf to cut as it was going towards the offense's left, then go more over the middle. But for the Falcons right here, I mean, they have 2 safeties deep, but they're both in the middle of the end zone right here. But like, if you're not covering shallow in the end zone, like who cares if you're covering further deep past there? Like, how do you not pick up that there's a route in this direction and get in position to make a play? It's really inexcusable defense here by Atlanta. But again, something I say all the time, the best quarterbacks take advantage of their opponent's mistakes. That's what Smith is doing on this play. He reads that the safeties were staying too far back, and he gets rid of the ball so quickly. He gets it to Metcalf, who makes a tough catch, and again, it's just kind of striking when the iron is hot, knowing exactly when to make that play, and also, having the guts to make that throw. Because I think a lot of quarterbacks would be too cautious in this scenario, but hey, if you feel like you have a chance, I mean, getting 7 points instead of 3 is a really big deal. So, really good stuff here by Geno Smith. You have a play like this where what's going to happen is it's a 3rd down and 8 here for the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are going to show blitz right here. However, when Smith takes the snap, it still is a pressure, but they kind of, one player even started off rushing and then drops back in the coverage. That's actually the player I've circled in black. Smith does a good job of getting around this initial pressure, but on a 3rd and 8, all this Atlanta player has to do is come up and make a tackle, and you're good. You can force a punt. Except watch Smith make a nice move, and while he doesn't get the first down, he gets 7 out of the 8 yards they needed, and that gives them enough confidence to try for a 4th down and 1 conversion, which they would hit on and keep the drive alive. So again, it's Smith making things happen. He's not just a game manager. If a play kind of breaks down, he can still make stuff work. Now, there were some instances of being a good game manager, which is, hey, that's still a good trait to have, is to be able to be a game manager. My only point is that I think he's more than just a game manager. But like this play, just a good concept by Seattle. Zone coverage that Atlanta is in. The Seahawks will have multiple receivers kind of run deep routes that are more going over the middle, and then that route, DK Metcalf's route, is going to go from the offense's right to the offense's left. Usually these routes can be a little tricky because as a defender, you're kind of thinking you have to cover someone who's on your side of the field, so when routes cross to the other side of the field, sometimes a player is late in picking up Metcalf. Well, that's not going to happen here. No, instead, when Geno Smith takes a snap, no one's late in picking up Metcalf because no one picks up Metcalf at all. I mean, he's just wide open. Atlanta blew this coverage. Someone should have gotten over and covered him. So again, not the best defense here by Atlanta, but you got to give credit to Seattle for, running these types of concepts, and you got to give credit to Geno Smith for noticing this situation. As you see, Smith puts that one right on the money. Metcalf is able to make a tough catch as well. They're able to pick up a big gain. So again, it's good stuff here by Seattle. Yes, not the highest degree of difficulty play here, but still good stuff, I would say. And then this play was really fun as well, where it's going to be a 1st down and 10 right here. You have a route it's actually the halfback's route. Kenneth Walker, who was the a big player in this game, ends up with a couple of touchdowns, 1 rushing and 1 receiving. I bet you can figure out what's going to happen on this play, but I'll show it anyway. Going up one-on-one against a linebacker, that's a mismatch. Smith takes the snap, looks over, and again, has to make his decision a little bit early. He had to navigate pressure, so, stepped up a little bit, throwing a little bit awkwardly. You have Walker with a little bit of space, and as you see, Smith is going to hit Walker. Walker is able to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Really good stuff here by both of those two guys to make the play work. So yeah, again, some good stuff here by the Seattle Seahawks. Some really good stuff here by Geno Smith. So yeah, I mean, again, it's good stuff here from Geno Smith. It's a defense in Atlanta that hasn't played great this season, but Smith was making some really good plays here. And we've seen this a few times where Geno Smith, I mean, he is someone who is like, again, I feel like he gets the game manager label slapped on him, and sometimes it's not even as an insult, because I think there is still some, being a game manager is good. Like, that's a positive trait to have in a quarterback. But, like, I do see some plays where it's like he reminds me of Matt Stafford sometimes. Excuse me, Matthew Stafford sometimes. He can make some of these really nice plays when a play breaks down, finding ways to make stuff happen. So, like, yeah, one of the real underrated players, I think, as of right now, playing really good football for the Seahawks, and that's kind of why, even with them having that 3-game losing streak, I was still like not fully out on them, and it's part of why I picked the Seahawks to make the playoffs heading into this season. I think there's some good stuff here, so got to keep it going, but good bounce back win after a rough 3-week stretch for the Seahawks. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.